Hi, everyone. This is Melinda Hayne McMahon, Associate Director for Housing Operations, and I am so excited to welcome you to Rhode Island School of Design and to have you move into our wonderful residence halls this fall with us. As you prepare for selecting your room next week, I want to share this tutorial with you on what's going to happen. You just received this link in an email that included your time slot. So what happens during that time slot? You return to the portal, but what do you do? So I'm going to take you through a really quick step-by-step look into what that looks like. So I always encourage students to utilize a computer when they are doing their room selection because it makes the view a little bit bigger. But of course, you can still do this on a tablet or on your smartphone. But for tutorial purposes, I am using a desktop computer at this time. So when you do log on to the portal, just note that some of the views that you can see may be a little bit different than what I can see as an administrator, but I'm still going to be clicking on the same buttons that you are going to be clicking on when you go through room selection next week. Now, as a reminder, room selection is Monday through Friday of next week, and you will be logging into the portal at the exact time that your email indicated that you will be logging in. So on the day of your time slot and at the exact time that your time slot opens, you've logged into the portal and you're going to land originally on this page. You're going to still see that timeline of what room selection looks like for incoming first year students. And your first place to click is to go right back into that on-campus housing application. So you can either click this button right here. Otherwise, if you are using a desktop, you can click up here an on-campus housing application. Either of them will take you exactly where you need to go. So we'll start here by clicking there and having it bring us to the back to our application. Then you're going to land on this term selector page. You are going to scroll down and you're going to return to academic year 2024-2025 because that is the application that we are or that you're selecting a room for. So yours should say continue because you completed your application already. So you click on this button and it is going to bring you to this first year room selection prep page. Because you've completed the housing application, it will bypass all of the housing application questions and bring you back to this page. For some of you, you may be very familiar, and for others, you may not have ventured past this page at all after you'd completed your housing application, and that's perfectly fine. So I'm going to talk through a couple things on this page, and then we're going to move forward as well, okay? So the first thing is this create and edit roommates groups. If you are a person who definitely, you already know who you want as your roommate, you're going to want to go into this create and edit roommate groups and be able to and make sure that you're creating that roommate group for yourself. Now, the stipulation with that is that whichever one of you has the earliest time slot should be made the group leader. And when you're on that page, once you've created that page, whoever the current group leader is, they can reassign who the group leader is. Then you're going to want to verify your group. There's a big button that says verify group. You can't miss it. Make sure that you click that, that the group leader clicks that, and that the group leader is the person with the earliest time slot, because they are going to go in and they're going to select the time, or excuse me, they're going to select the room for the entire group. All the other group members will not have to go into the portal during their time slot to do anything. The person with the earliest time slot is going to do the full selection for everybody in the group. So if you're a group of 2 or a group of 3, it doesn't matter. The person with the earliest time slot needs to actively be made the group leader, and they need to be and then they need to verify the group. You'll know the group is verified because it'll be a big green success button that says this group is verified. The other option on here is individual selection. If you're just going to go through on your own, whether because you're looking for a single room or because you didn't find a roommate yet, and you just want to pick a room because you don't care who lives with you, you can go in and you can select a space on your own, or you can find a bed that already has one person already in it and you can select the other one. And then the last option on here is the profile page. And that's where you decided what type of housing you wanted to live in. That's the single gender, gender inclusive, also our general housing, our gender free floor. I'm not going to dig too deep into that just now because you actually will revisit that page before you even go into room selection. So for the purposes of my demonstration, I am going to go through as an individual selection because I don't have a roommate group at this time. So I'm going to go on this drop down on the time of my time slot, which for demonstration purposes is right now. So I'm going to click this individual selection and click Save and Continue. So this page is just going to remind you that you're just going at it alone. If you mistakenly picked this and you are part of a group, you'll just click your browser's back button and then go forward in the group as the group leader. Reminder, that group leader has to be the one that selects, that brings your group through room selection, okay? So to move forward, again, just this page should look very familiar to you. This is the page where you are selecting your preference for what type of floor you want to live on while you are on campus with us this fall. Now, you had the opportunity to read through all of these, so I'm only going to give a brief overview of each of these options, but I want to make sure that you understand what each of them are so that you can make the most informed decision when going through room selection. So the first is gender inclusive housing. This is the most general type of housing. It is the most common type of housing across the entirety of the first year area. This is where these are our like kind of traditional mixed gender floors, right? And so the thing about this is that it gives opportunity for students who are different genders to actively make a group and live together if they would like to and reside on a floor like this. Or if you are a person who does not necessarily want that, but also hasn't created a roommate group, if you were to select a room on this floor, the other person that would select the other bed in your room, if you selected like a double or a triple, would have to match the same legal sex that we have on file as you. And so you can read through what those examples sort of look like so that you have a better understanding, but know that this is the most common type of housing. And this is the traditional type of housing that students think of like when you watch movies and shows. This is kind of what you're typically seeing in for typical residence halls. The next is a gender-free floor. It's very similar to the gender-inclusive floor, although it is very much geared toward the LGBTQIA plus community, and it gives folks the ability to have a safe and inclusive environment where students of any legal sex or gender identity to reside with roommates of any legal sex or gender identity. Unlike the gender inclusive floors, though, the rooms on these floors or on this floor does not adopt a specific gender designation when a bed is selected. And so because of that, we ask that all students who reside on this floor are supportive of the LGBTQIA plus community. This does not mean that you are an expert. This does not mean that you necessarily identify as somebody who is gender nonconforming, though it is a very common place for students who hold an identity such as that to reside. But we do ask that everybody who resides on this floor respects that this floor will have lots of different genders living on it, or lots of different people with genders living on it. And is a place for folks to feel welcome and supported. Next is single gender floor. This is very specific and straightforward. This is a floor where everybody has the same legal sex and would all live on the same floor. So this might be an all female floor or an all male floor. The next two options are the Brown RISD dual degree students and the first generation of pre-orientation program, also known as BRDD or FGC PAP. And these students have very specific floors that they reside on for their programs. However, are welcome to live with students who are not part of those programs. So just make sure that if you are in one of these programs, you are selecting the one that matches yours, but you are welcome to pull in anybody who is not part of that program. And then the last option is no preference. This one gives any student who chooses it the widest array of spaces to pick from, because there is nothing that puts a perimeter or a parameter, I should say, on what you can see. So it will show you every single room that is available to you if it matches your category. Of course, it will only show you single gender floors that match your own legal sex. So just note that if you are in a group, that you and your group should all work out what type of floor that you want to live on, because you will have to make sure that all of your profiles or your floor preferences match. Otherwise, you will not be able to see anything. So make sure that you do take care of that prior to selecting or before your roommate group's time slot opens. So once you've decided what you want, you're going to go down to the drop-down menu. You're going to pick the one that best meets what you are looking for. For demonstration purposes, I'm going to click single gender to show you how it narrows down. And then once you've done that, you'll click save and continue. And it's going to bring you to a building selection page. Now, as you all probably know, we have multiple buildings available for incoming first-year students. But the floors that are designated as single gender for women only are specifically in East Hall and Nickerson Hall. So because of this, I am going to choose Nickerson for demonstration, and it's going to show me the very specific rooms that are available. And you'll notice that this is Nickerson 3. So the third floor of Nickerson is one of the floors designated to women only. And so you'll be able to see only these particular beds. So that you can make a selection. Okay. Now, if you were like, oh, actually, maybe I don't want this, I decided that I'd like more variety, you are welcome to hit your browser's back button, back to that profile selection page. You can change your preference again, go back in, it will update and it will show you what different options as well based on whatever it was that you selected. And so I scroll through, I don't want a single because I want to have a roommate. And so I think, okay, Nickerson 303 is the room that I want. I'm going to click select, and it's going to say cancel selection, scroll to bottom and continue. So I'm going to scroll all the way down, click save and continue. In here, it's going to identify that this is me, this is my own age, and then I'm going to select either of the beds. Honestly, it doesn't matter which one you pick. Maybe number 1 is your lucky number, so you pick 303-1. You're going to click assign beds. Now, if you were in a roommate group, this would prompt you to select a bed for all of your roommates as well. So keep that in mind, okay? It's going to take you to that review selection page so that you can verify what your selection was. Yep, Nickerson 303. I'm Melinda, and I'm going to confirm my booking. And then we just wait for it to process. It takes just a minute. And you'll land on a page where it is going to show you, it's going to show you the room that you selected. It's going to tell you how much the room is for the term. And then it shows you a meal allotment as well. This is the anticipated meal allotment. This may still change. And then it's going to show you specifically the beds that were assigned for everyone. So if this was a group, you would see everybody in this who was in each of these beds. If I selected this and then you went in to select the other bed, you would see my name here and you would see your name here. And then if you wanted to send a message to your roommate, you would be able to click that send message straight through the portal. I know often some students will send that and say, here's my Instagram, or here's my phone number, here's my email address, so that students can start having conversations in that way as well. Additionally, you will get an email that says that you're confirmed you have a room assignment. Congratulations, we're really excited to have you here in the fall. And you will be able to share that with your roommate as well if you are the group leader to say, yep, we're confirmed, we're all set on campus. And then you're done. That's all there is to it, to selecting your room. It is a very quick process. And I always recommend that students take a little bit of time to think about where they want to live, what type of housing, and have a few backup plans in case it gets taken before your time slot opens as well. And then be flexible. All of our rooms on campus are really, really great, and you're going to be able to find something. Now, if you have any questions or concerns, we're going to be in the office all week during room selection, so you can give us a call at 401-454-6650 or send us an email at housing@risd.edu and we'll give you some help. The only thing that we can say is just note that once your room is confirmed, we will not be able to make any changes. And so just be very intentional about the room that you're selecting during your time slot. And so that at the end of it you'll be in good shape. Okay, so I know that this was a pretty quick tutorial, but I hope that it has helped you during this time. And if you have any questions, reach out to our office, and we wish you the best of luck as you go through room selection next week. And we're here to help if you have any questions in the meantime. Okay, thanks for joining me. Bye.